Yes, Mr. Speaker, I too would like to pay my respects to our fallen musicians, those who have put Jamaica on the map. I don't think there's any other discipline that has really put Jamaica on the map like reggae music. And the passing of Jimmy Cliff, Stephen Catcore, Slide Dunbar, Bob Clark really leaves a void. You know, what I would say, our authentic reggae music. But the passing of Catcore, Mr. Speaker, hits a little closer to home because it was just the Friday before his passing. Cat and myself were at the funeral of Wickham McNeil's mother at University Chapel. And at the repast, we were chatting and somewhat reminiscing of the days when himself, myself, and his brother, Dr. Mikael Core, would meet up and have a drink. But also, it hits a little bit closer because I don't know if persons would remember the days of Zinc Fence, the studio. And I remember the days of being much younger than I am now. And when my mother would close the restaurant in the evenings, as the member from West Kingston would say, they would be there up into the night, rehearsing. And you had a stage at the back. And you could go around there, if invited, to see live rehearsals of Third World on stage performing. But as we were reminded by the member from West Kingston of Stephen's Catcore's mother, who was the musician. And I've been told the story of Ibo Cooper, who was at Jamaica College, who went to Rita Core's for music. And that's when he met Cat while taking music classes with Mrs. Core. But he was, his brothers predeceased him. Ivan first, then Michael. Ivan and Stephen followed the Rastafarian faith. Because I remember Ivan's son David and I were born around the same time. We're part of the 12 tribes. But for those of us who can remember also, going to Sunsplash at Jarrett Park and hearing Third World coming out, belling 96 degrees in the morning sun out at Jarrett Park. Real hot. And Cat Core in part of with his cello, taking on the music to a different height. So, the legacy of Third World. I mean, without most of the members, original members of the band, and remembering them taking on the world with rhythmic music that took us to a different height in reggae music in Jamaica. I mean, when you have persons like Slide Dunbar, who did not, as the minister said, it wasn't on the forefront, but they created music for others that is hard to replace. And I wish some of our younger musicians, as we were reminded by the member from West Kingston, that back in the days they didn't have the technology as the current musicians, but it was just raw talent of persons like Jimmy Cliff, Stephen Catcore, Slide Dunbar. In those days, that made us the capital of reggae music that many others want to follow behind us. So, in my own way, I would just like to pay respect to those who have left us, but in particular, Stephen Catcore. And to his family, I know it is a big loss, because as I said, the other brothers predeceased him. But his legacy will continue to live on, not only in the third world music, but as a father, an uncle, and a friend to many, many Jamaicans. His humility went far and wide. You could walk in Ligania and see Catcore just walking. He was a superstar that was just like a normal Jamaican. And yeah, man, just know himself, as you would say, Jamaicans would say. So I just want to pay my own tribute to those who have left us, and for us to continue remembering them for the contribution that they made, not only to reggae music, but to Jamaica at large. Thank you.